All right, boys. It's about that time of week again where I go through my NFL week predictions, this week being week 5. If you're new around here and you don't know how this works, basically the way it goes is I'm going to go through each matchup this week for Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night and go through and decide whether I think the team is going to get a win or I think the team is going to get a loss. So first up is tonight's game, Thursday Night Football. We got the Colts versus the Broncos, a thrilling one to say the least. They got the line at -3 Denver here, and I'm going to have to go with the line here, say that Denver is going to win this game. Denver has a better built offense than Indianapolis does. They're going to be out Jonathan Taylor tonight. There's times when Matt Ryan looks like he's a baller, and there's times when Matt Ryan can't get the ball down the field. The Colts are weird right now, man. I don't know how to feel about the Colts. I thought they were going to be so good. I think it's just Frank Reich. Frank Reich is a major problem, and that coaching staff in general is just a major problem for the Colts. That being said, the Denver is also victim to the same scenario here, but Denver last game got cooking against the Raiders, just not enough to win the game, obviously. Plus, that defense was struggling really hard against Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs. Mainly Josh Jacobs. Derek Carr didn't really do much. They're going to be out Jonathan Taylor, so they're not going to get a run game going, and they haven't been able to get a run game going even with Jonathan Taylor. Next up, we got the Saints versus the Seahawks. They got the line at -5.5 for the Saints. And I'm going to go with the Saints here, even though the Saints have been really struggling to get it going in these past couple weeks, and they don't look very good right now. It's simply because they're going through a ton of injuries right now. A lot of those people are coming back. Michael Thomas still may be out for this game, but Jameis should play back at full health here. Alvin Kamara should be back as well, and I just don't think the Seahawks stand a chance against a healthy Jameis and Alvin Kamara. Chris Olave has been popping off, looking like an absolute stud, and the Seahawks are one of the worst teams in the league when it comes to letting up the pass, especially air yards. Offensively for the Seahawks, I would be shocked if Geno Smith was able to do anything against the Saints defense. I mean, that secondary is going to absolutely kill Geno Smith. And the D-line, man, I mean, Cameron Jordan's going to have a field day on Geno Smith. That's for sure. I mean, the Saints had 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. I just don't see that O-line holding up for Geno, and I think the Seahawks are going to have a really hard time. Plus, it's in New Orleans. So, next up, we got the Giants versus the Packers. They got the line at -8 for the Packers. Yeah, this game is going to be a slaughter fest, to say the least. I don't think the Giants are terrible this year. I think the Packers defense is just going to absolutely kill Daniel Jones, and he's not going to have a single chance in the pocket. I mean, that was proven when they played Dallas. Daniel Jones had very little time to do anything at all times, and he had to resort to running the football a lot himself, which is why he's one of the lead rushing quarterbacks in the league right now, which is crazy to say. They're going to try and get the run game going with Saquon. I don't see it happening. The Packers have stuffed up every run game they've played so far. And then defensively, the Giants may be able to stand a chance since they don't have many offensive threats, but it's still Aaron Rodgers, and he's going to figure out a way to win the game. Gotta go with the Packers on this one. Next up, we got the Bills versus the Steelers. And I don't even need to tell you the line on this one because it's just gonna be a slaughter fest. Kenny Pickett or Mitchell Trubisky. That being said, the line is -14 for Buffalo. You're getting a healthy Buffalo back. Josh Allen is playing at prime time right now, obviously. I mean, this is one of the best teams in football. The Steelers don't stand a single chance. They're also playing in Buffalo. There's no way. There's just no way. I don't need to say much more about this. Maybe it's a trap game, but I would be shocked if the Bills lose this game. Next up, we got the Chargers versus the Browns. They got the line at -2.5 for the Chargers here. And while I do think this is a trap game, I'm not sure if I can call it trap game of the week because this week has so many crazy matchups that I don't know if it's worth the trap game of the week, but it's close. I'm going to go with the Browns here. Start with the defense here. As far as I can tell, Myles Garrett should be playing. However, he is limited practice for a shoulder/bicep injury right now. So if Myles Garrett doesn't play, I would sway my opinion more towards the Chargers winning this game here. But I think Myles Garrett should be fine for this matchup on Sunday. I think that the Browns D-line is going to absolutely kill the Chargers O-line. Yes, I know that the Chargers didn't let up many sacks or tackles for loss last week, but they also played against the Texans, who have one of the worst defenses in the league, just period. So it's not fair to say that the Chargers O-line's finally starting to hold up because it's not. They're still out many key pieces, and they're also really young at that O-line. So I don't know how well it's going to hold up against the Browns D-line. That being said, like I said, Myles Garrett might not play. Jadeveon Clowney also probably won't play. If Denzel Ward plays too, it's going to be a really tough matchup for Mike Williams. And then offensively, the Chargers have one of the worst rush defenses in the league. And Nick Chubb is the best back in the league right now, without a question. He's going to have an absolute field day against the Chargers. And if they don't stop him, it's going to be really hard for the Browns to lose this game. Next up, we got the Bears versus the Vikings. They got the Vikings with the line at -7.5. Yeah, I gotta go with this line too. It is a division game, and division games are always closer than you expect, but the Bears suck. And that's as simply put as it can be. The Bears are absolutely terrible this year. The Vikings are still very weird right now, still trying to figure it out. Offensively not looking amazing. They are one of the better half of the offensive teams in the league. Bears offense also isn't going to be able to get anything done because Justin Fields is not looking great right now. He's also not getting many passing attempts still. Their run game is really solid, but I think the Vikings will figure that out and bottle that up real quick. I just don't see the Bears standing a single chance here. Gotta go with the Vikings. Next up, we got the Lions versus the Patriots. We got the line at -3 for New England here. And I think this might be the trap game of the week. It's like I said, it's close with the Chargers and the Browns, but I think that the Patriots are in for a game here. And I'm going to go with the Lions winning this game. I understand that the Lions are going through a significant amount of injuries right now, but a lot of them are starting to get limited reps in practice, and a lot of them should be able to come back for this game on Sunday. DeAndre Swift will be out, but Jamal Williams is looking like an absolute beast right now in that Lions offensive scheme, and he's playing so good. TJ Hawkinson looks absolutely incredible, obviously. Amon-Ra, the big one, did not practice for Wednesday or Thursday, still with that ankle injury. If Amon-Ra comes back, I do not see the Patriots defense stopping Amon-Ra St. Brown. But we look at the Patriots here. Mac Jones might not play. Kyle Duggar might not play. Jacoby Myers, one of your biggest threats on offense, might not play. Jalen Mills might not play. A lot of your biggest key factors for this Patriots team might not play because they're all out on injury. I like the Lions offense way better than the Patriots offense. Lions still being the top scoring offense in the league right now. And even though the Patriots have one of the better defenses in the league, the Lions have so many weapons that I think the Patriots are not going to be able to keep up. Yes, the Lions defense is absolutely terrible, but this Patriots offense is already so lackluster that because they're going to be out so many players, I don't see this Patriots offense keeping up with this Lions offense, and I got to go with the Lions win here. Next up, we got the Dolphins versus the Jets. They got the line at -3.5 for the Dolphins. Got to go with the Dolphins win here. I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people expect because Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the quarterback for the Dolphins here. That being said, you still got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Should be fine on that Jets secondary who just suck. They're going to be way more prepared. Next up, you got the Bucks versus the Falcons. They got the line at -9.5 for Tampa. The Bucks are going to kill the Falcons. They're going to have an absolute field day against the Falcons. The Bucks are finally proving that their offense is not as horrible as a lot of people would think it is after last week's performance against the Chiefs. That being said, the Bucks are a little off click. They're not really getting it together as a team. But it doesn't matter because you're playing against the Falcons, and the Falcons are not good. The Falcons have a terrible offensive scheme, not getting some of your best playmakers involved. You're going to be out Cordarrelle Patterson, and then defensively, you're playing against Tom Brady with an already horrible defense. The Bucks are just going to absolutely ball all over the Falcons. Defense is going to stop Marcus Mariota from doing absolutely anything. Next up, you got the Titans versus the Commanders with the line at -1.5 for Tennessee. Yeah, I mean, this game's going to be very close. I like Ryan Tannehill just a little bit more than I like Carson Wentz. Even though Carson Wentz is not playing terribly this season, it's really just that O-line for Carson Wentz. He's going to get sacked a bunch. He is the most sacked quarterback in the league right now, and I think the Titans are going to take full advantage of that. And also for the Titans, Derrick Henry's finally starting to come through, having a great game last week against the Colts. I'm not entirely sure if that Commanders D-line is going to be able to bottle up that run game. It's going to be a very close game for sure. And Carson Wentz is going to air out to Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel, being as the Titans cornerback room is still in shambles and they let up some of the most passing yards in the league. I just think that the Titans are going to have a better game plan going into the game. Titans are going to get pressure on Carson Wentz all day long because of that O-line. And I think Derrick Henry is going to have a field day. Next up, we got the Jags versus the Texans. They got the line at -7 for the Jags. Jags are going to kill the Texans. And there's not much to say about this game. Dameon Pierce will have a field day against the Jags because the Jags are one of the bottom half of the league when it comes to the rush defense, especially after last week against the Eagles. But also the weather was a big factor in that. But at the end of the day, I mean, dude, this Jags offense is going to obliterate defense on the Texans, being one of the worst defenses, period, in the league. And Davis Mills hasn't proved to be any good. 49ers versus the Panthers. They got the line at -6.5 for the 49ers. 49ers absolutely demolishing the Panthers here. The defense is going to kill Baker Mayfield. I mean, last week against the Rams, Stafford was not able to do anything, gets picked off at the end on that game-winning interception, pick 6. Get the pressure on Stafford so much last week with a horrible O-line. The Panthers' O-line is arguably just as bad as the Rams O-line, so the 49ers are going to have just as much of a field day. With or without Eric Armstead, it doesn't matter. I mean, as for the offense, Jimmy G and Debo are just gonna just absolutely destroy the Panthers. Next up, we got the Cowboys versus the Rams. They got the line at -5.5 for Los Angeles. I'm not sure why Vegas has the Rams winning this game. I gotta go with the Cowboys here. I don't know if this is an upset. I don't know if this is a trap game, you would say. But I wouldn't say this is an upset or a trap game. The Rams have proven that their O-line is absolutely trash and their run game is very lackluster. And the Cowboys feast off of teams with a bad run game and a horrible O-line. They are a top 3 defense in the league, and they are going to destroy Stafford in the backfield. He's going to get sacked a bunch by Micah Parsons. And if he tries to throw the ball into Cooper Kupp's way, guess what? Trayvon Diggs is there, and he has the best ball skills in the league when it comes to any corner in the league. He's going to intercept the ball at least one time this game. I just think that the Rams don't stand a single chance against this Cowboys defense, especially since the Rams offense looks absolutely terrible right now. I mean, it's Cooper Kupp or bust. The Rams just haven't been able to get anything done offensively. And defensively, the Rams look really lazy. They're not getting to the quarterback that often or putting that much pressure on him. Jalen Ramsey hasn't really shown much this season for a corner. They're not really throwing it his way to begin with because it is Jalen Ramsey. But still, I mean, he hasn't really done much of anything this season. I don't think he's gotten one interception for this entire season, and that was against the Falcons. Next up, we got the Eagles versus the Cardinals. They got the line at -5 for the Eagles. The Cardinals are so out of sync right now. And there's times where they look unstoppable, and there's times where they look incredibly weak and underwhelming and bad. And like I said many times before, it all comes down to how good Kyler Murray plays. And I think against this Cardinals defense, with one of the best secondaries in the league and that D-line putting on so much pressure against so many different teams, I don't think Kyler is going to be able to do anything against this Philly team. And then offensively, the Cardinals are not the best against the run, and Miles Sanders is going to kill them. Jalen Hurts is going to have a field day in that secondary too, because the Cardinals are also not the best against the pass, because their defense is just lackluster to begin with. Yeah, man, the Eagles just look unstoppable, and I don't know why I would ever take the Cardinals over the Eagles, because the Eagles, there's a reason why they're the only undefeated team in the league right now. Next up, you got the Bengals versus the Ravens. They got the line at -3 for the Ravens here. You got to pick your upsets. I'm going with the Bengals to win this game. Couple of reasons. Number one, the O-line will hold up against this Ravens defense because the Ravens D-line is already lacking to begin with, not getting pressure on any teams right now, barely getting any sacks on any teams right now. Like I've said before, if the O-line can hold up, Joe Burrow is going to play at an elite level, which is my second reason why I think the Bengals are going to win, is because the Ravens have let up the most air yards in the league for any secondary in the NFL. Their secondary, while it has so many studs on that team, I just don't see them being able to do absolutely anything against this Bengals offense with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. There's going to be so many 20-plus yards in this game. The ability to stop 20-plus yard plays is crucial to a good game. Joe Burrow is going to play at an elite level. They're finally starting to get the run game back a little bit too. So if they can manage to run the ball, which the Ravens aren't terribly the best at stopping the run defense, as we saw last week against the Bills, And then also number 3, the reason why I think the Bengals will win this game is because the record for Joe Burrow right now with the Ravens, I think, is undefeated. And last season, they absolutely killed the Ravens in both their outings. I'm going to go with the Bengals here to win this game for sure, for sure. Then we got the last game of the week, Raiders versus the Chiefs. They got the line at -7 for the Chiefs. I'm sorry, Raiders fans, but the Chiefs own you just like the Packers own the Bears. You're about to get killed by the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it's simply the best way I can put it and the nicest way I can put it. This Raiders secondary is already struggling pretty hard. Offensively, Derek Carr looks so underwhelming against this really, really good Chiefs D-line. Josh Jacobs might have a day, but it doesn't matter because running the ball against the Chiefs isn't going to do you much of anything. As we've seen with literally every team who's played the Chiefs so far, you can't run the ball on them. You have to play by the pass, and I don't know if the pass is going to get you anywhere against this Chiefs defense. Plus, even if it does, you're not going to keep up with the Chiefs offense because no one can. And there you have it. That is my week 5 predictions for the NFL. Sorry I was late on this upload. Normally I do this every Wednesday, but I wasn't able to upload it yesterday because got a lot of stuff going on right now with midterms coming up. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.